I use technology a lot in my teaching. I use Blackboard Collaborate, and I use Blackboard Test, and I use a bunch of the different features that they have available to us at OIT, and OIT has always been very instrumental and very helpful for me when I'm trying to integrate more technology for my students. When I began teaching in the fall of 2009 and I was giving my students exams, if I wanted to do a multiple choice exam, I would have them use a scantron form. And so it was sort of a tedious process. And then I went to the OIT's and Tennessee Teaching and Learning Center Summer Teaching Institute, and I found out that you could use Blackboard Test to do exams for students, and then immediately upon completing the test, it has graded the exam for each student, and it gives them their submitted answers and what the correct answer was. I learned how to do blogs and wikis for the students where they submit their assignments online and I can grade them online and not have all that paperwork. I have an interactive syllabus now where they can click on the syllabus and go to a specific place or a specific site that I want them to go to and see something I want them to see. I do also use Blackboard Assignments, which is one of my favorite things. So the students submit their papers electronically, and that's another thing I learned how to do at the Summer Teaching Institute. And I can associate that like with a rubric, which I have pulled up here. I can just click through this rubric and type my comments in, and again the students get that feedback immediately, and I can also type directly into their paper. It's a lot easier for me and it's a lot more immediate feedback for the students. I do a lot with technology in the classroom, both inside and outside the classroom. So one of the things that the students enjoy the most is that I teach lifespan development. So I teach all the way from conception to birth to death. So I go through the whole lifespan. And for each phase of life that I'm teaching, I try to bring in a class visitor. And so, for example, when we're doing preschool development, I'll have a preschooler come to the classroom and show me the kinds of things that they can do and demonstrate their cognitive development through playing games with me and showing me their motor development and their cognitive development. And what I do is I have them do those tasks through the smartboard with the document camera. And so I will put several items on the document camera, and the students can see that projected up on the screen in front of them. So even if they're in the back of the classroom, they can still see. And so we'll have the child go through the task, and I'll work through the task with them, and the students are able to see that immediately. Also, if I'm teaching a phase of life where it's not that convenient for the visitor to come physically to UT and come to my classroom, I'll use Skype. So I've done that with families that have infants. So the students can see the infant and they can ask questions of the parent in real time, and the parent can respond, and we can actually see the baby and see what the baby can do. When I teach a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, we have online Fridays. So instead of coming to campus, they have an activity which I've posted on Blackboard, and they will go to Blackboard, and sometimes it's like watch a video on YouTube that has to do with a child development concept, and then they'll go do an online journal where they write about what they learned and they apply it to things that I've been teaching them in the class or things that have to do with the textbook. So they are able to really have that learning that's interactive. They do really seem to enjoy that flexibility. I applied and just found out that I received the Faculty First grant from OIT, which gives me a staff of people from OIT to help me as I move the class online for the first time. So I'm learning how to do things like use Blackboard Collaborate, which is a software that allows me to record my lecture, and at the same time the students are able to go through like a PowerPoint presentation at the same time they're watching my lecture. Also, because I use so many class visitors, I am going to have to learn how to videotape those class visitors and then post those videos so the students can see them, because I don't want to give up having the students see an actual preschooler or an actual school-age child go through some of these cognitive tasks that I demonstrate in the classrooms. I've recently found out that I did receive IRB approval to compare my first fully online class with my face-to-face section of the same class, just to make sure that the student outcomes are the same and the students are learning the same thing, whether they're in the face-to-face environment or the online environment.